Okay, this one's a follow-up on a video I did not too long ago about Mel Gibson. He lost his gun rights in 2011, and he had to go to a pardon attorney, or a pardon attorney would review if he wanted to get his gun rights back. She refused to give him his gun rights back. I mean, she had reason for it, and I don't know what they were or anything. But she refused to give his gun rights back. Well, Mel Gibson's a big Trump supporter. Well, she got fired over that. It's a really gross firing, for one thing. This is kind of typical of Donald Trump. If he fires you, you're just bad. She reacted, and she's a person with integrity. And if you have integrity around this White House, that's pretty much a negative. We first saw this happen in the first impeachment of Donald Trump, where some people with high integrity testified, and most of them got fired. Or abused in some other way. Anyway, I put this video up here because she has testified to Congress, and I just wanted you to look at it. I don't know, it's kind of long, but I'm going to put the whole thing up. It's like 7 minutes long, and I'm going to have a short discussion on it afterwards.
Thank you for having me. Exactly 1 month ago, I was terminated from my job as the Justice Department's pardon attorney. The pardon attorney is a non-political position that is entrusted with advising the president about the exercise of his constitutional clemency power. When I was fired, there were over 6,000 applications pending from ordinary Americans around the country who were seeking the president's mercy and second chances through clemency. I had planned to talk today about the events leading up to my firing, but some more recent developments have persuaded me to focus my time on the callous cruelty with which DOJ leadership is treating dedicated public servants like myself. For me, this began with my abrupt firing. It was 2:00 on a Friday afternoon. I was in a conference room meeting with colleagues from several different DOJ offices. We were brainstorming about how to implement a priority of the Attorney General. Halfway through the meeting, I was frantically pulled out by my deputy. In the hallway, she broke the news to me that security officers were waiting for me in my office to serve me with termination papers and escort me out of the building. I rushed back to my office. There, I was handed a 3-sentence memo signed by Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, firing me effective immediately. I had never met Mr. Blanche, and I received no explanation for his decision. That afternoon, I walked out of the building for the last time carrying a grocery bag filled with my personal effects. I had no time to say goodbye to my team. I was in shock. Everyone I passed on the way out was looking on in shock and horror. I want Deputy Attorney General Blanche and Attorney General Bondi to know it is traumatic for everyone in an entire organization to see a beloved colleague and leader treated that way. My heart aches for my colleagues who had to go back into that office on Monday with no explanation from DOJ leadership and no assurances about what the future holds for them. They are good, dedicated people, and they deserve better. After I was fired, I chose to speak publicly about the events leading up to my termination. I felt that it was my obligation to share my concerns about the reckless and unethical use of department resources to accomplish political objectives, including favors for loyalists and friends. Shortly after I did so, Mr. Blanche contacted the media to accuse me of lying. This still puzzles me because his staff has all of the memos and emails that substantiate everything I have ever said. I requested those documents through FOIA, but Mr. Blanche's staff still has not produced them. I have made some other simple requests of the department since my firing. One was for my annual performance evaluations, which show that I received outstanding ratings every year. One was for personnel documents that I would need to file for unemployment. DOJ responded to me that these were complex requests and I could not expect a response in any reasonable period of time. For weeks after my firing, DOJ also refused to provide me with documents about my benefits, including my health insurance and including my retirement plan. Finally, on April 2nd, after my requests got some media attention, I got an email advising me that my health insurance would expire in 5 days. I learned that to extend my coverage, the cost to me and my family would more than quadruple. I was told that to keep my family members covered, I would have to prove my familial relationships with them. I was told that I would need to provide my marriage certificate, the birth certificate of my child, and proof of a common residence or joint tax filings with my spouse. Perhaps the most personally upsetting part of the story is the lengths to which the leadership of the department has gone to prevent me from testifying here today. On Friday night around 9:15, I learned that the Deputy Attorney General's office had directed the Department's Security and Emergency Planning Service to send 2 armed Special Deputy U.S. Marshals to my home to serve me with a letter. The letter was to be served at my home between 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock on Friday night. I was in the car with my husband and my parents, who are sitting behind me today, when I got the news that the officers were on their way to my house where my teenage child was home alone. Fortunately, due to the grace of a very decent person who understood how upsetting this would be to my family, I was able to confirm receipt of the letter to an email address, and the deputies were called off. The letter had been emailed to me just before 8 o'clock that night. At no point did Mr. Blanche's staff pick up the phone and call me before they sent armed deputies to my home. The letter was a warning to me about the risks of testifying here today. But I am here because I will not be bullied into concealing the ongoing corruption and abuse of power at the Department of Justice. DOJ is entrusted with keeping us safe, upholding the rule of law, and protecting our civil rights. It is not a personal favor bank for the president. Its career employees are not the president's personal debt collectors. I see only Democratic members here today, but this is not a partisan issue. It should alarm all Americans that the leadership of the Department of Justice appears to value political loyalty above the fair and responsible administration of justice. It should offend all Americans that our leaders are treating public servants with a lack of basic decency and humanity. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your testimony and for the courage you're demonstrating by being here.
What I'm talking about in this video is, and I talked a little bit about this before, was integrity. If you have any sort of integrity, that interferes with loyalty. Loyalty is the only thing. He couldn't give a damn less. In fact, he doesn't value someone who has integrity. This woman really has integrity, and she's got guts, because she's been warned not to testify, kind of like the mafia, which this guy's pretty close to that. So what impresses me mostly about this testimony is the lack of any humanitarianism from any of these slime buckets. Pam Bondi, Blanche, they're just loyalty nuts, they're zealots for Trump. And so they're just loyal, and that's all they are. There's nothing else to them. These guys will do anything for this guy. And that's what you got running what they're calling right now the Department of Justice. And boy, it sure ain't that. Anyway, that's it on this one.